Hey everybody, it's Nizzy Poo. Welcome back. Today I'd like to talk about North Korea, the threat thereof, and the NAP. Yes, the non-aggression principle. It's been brought up by libertarians and ANCAPs alike in regards to the situation going on, and I think I'd like to weigh in on it, give my 2 cents. So here we go. Okay, so what is the NAP? There's different formulations of the non-aggression principle, but for today we're just going to use Murray Rothbard's, and it states that no one may threaten or commit violence against another man's person or property. Violence may be employed only against the man who commits such violence, that is, only defensively against the aggressive violence of another. Now, so what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about interpersonal violence. And really, this is just the whole problem of trying to deal with a nation and their foreign policy and how that relates to another nation and the threats of another nation. Yeah, the NAP just really doesn't work very well. I wish that libertarians and CAPs would stop talking about the NAP in relation to foreign policy. To illustrate my point, say that a nation attacks another one. Say, I don't know, North Korea attacks California and we go to war. So we retaliate and we start, I don't know, lobbing bombs or whatever, missiles over North Korea, and there's going to be so many innocent people dying or whatever. Well, they didn't violate the NAP, right? They had absolutely nothing to do with it. They're just living there. So you would say that, well, now we violated the NAP, right? So you're kind of stuck in this conundrum when you're talking about nations reacting and acting with other nations. It doesn't quite work that way. It doesn't really work well at all. It only works when we're talking about individual actions and how they relate to other individuals. To really bring this idea home, let's say that we attacked North Korea, innocent people died, and so you couldn't really even say that we violated the NAP, right? Because who is we? I mean, I didn't attack anybody. I didn't bomb anybody. I was just sitting in my home, and some other people ordered other people to attack other people. It's all people. None of these people I even know, right? So you couldn't even say that we would have violated the NAP at that point. There would be certain individuals which violated the NAP. And so you can see, if we use that type of logic, I mean, the NAP just isn't applicable at all when you're talking about nations and foreign policy. It just doesn't work. Now, as far as what constitutes a violation of the NAP, well, in Rothbard's version of it, you know, a credible threat of violence definitely violates the NAP. Sorry, so you don't have to wait for somebody to punch you in the mouth before you get to retaliate. If the threat is credible and you know the person's going to punch you in the mouth, you're well within your rights to hit them first. You know, preemptive strikes would be just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you get into argument with somebody on the street and they say, I'm going to my car and I'm going to get my gun, you have the right to stop them from getting their gun. The NAP does not keep you from being able to protect yourself preemptively when you know the attack is going to happen, when you know that the threat is credible. Now, what does this have to do with North Korea and what we're talking about now? Well, just keep the NAP out of it. It doesn't work. It has nothing to do with nations. So just keep it out of it. That doesn't mean at all that libertarians, ANCAPs, whatever, don't have anything to say about foreign policy. We have plenty to say about foreign policy, but the NAP is just not applicable, and I don't know. It's kind of silly just listening to these people talk about whether or not it violates the NAP. I mean, come on. The NAP is for it's for noobs. It's for libertarians that just got into the scene, and you hear the NAP and you're like, oh wow, yeah, this makes so much sense. But I mean, there's been so many people that have been able to show that the NAP doesn't work in all situations, and really, I mean, if you took a good look at it, you'd realize, okay, well, the NAP is, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily, other than it's not some kind of stone-clad objective morality ethic or something that's going to work in all situations, because it just doesn't. It's just a good rule of thumb, and you know, there's other stuff out there, guys. You know, you got to get off the NAP. You've got to get you got to start read some Michael Huemer. You know, some Brian Kaplan. You know, check out some David Friedman. You know, I mean, hey, I love Rothbard, man, but he's not the only guy out there. Okay, so yeah, comes the foreign policy. The NAP does not apply. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that crap, and I'll see you next time.